Right then, we're going to have a quick chat about absolutive realism. No, not. Right then, we're going to have a quick chat about absolutism and relativism. I've got my notes so I don't mess it up. Two different ways of looking at ethics. First, absolutism. Absolutism is saying that some things are always right, always wrong, regardless of time, place, or the people involved. It is 100% absolute. Now, you might say that that doesn't sound particularly right, but it is an ethical theory that's been around for a long time. Some of the advantages of this are that we can critically evaluate moral values because they never change. And of course, it's fair. If you look at it from that point of view, saying that something is always right and always wrong, people know what the expectations are, it is fair. Disadvantages, of course, are that it's not appropriate to treat people the same in given situations. Circumstances arise that alter things. You're all aware of this. Life simply is not black and white, which leads us to the other theory, which is relativism. Relativism is the idea that nothing is intrinsically right or wrong, that there are differences, of course. We can look at cultural relativism, which is that different cultures, countries could deal with things in different ways and would have different viewpoints and values on a given situation. And historical relativism, what was right 100 years ago won't necessarily be right today. For example, 100 years ago, women did not have the right to vote. Here in Australia, 100 years ago, the indigenous people weren't even classified as humans, which we all admit is an absolute disgrace. So how do we find advantages in the cultural relativism? Well, cultural relativism allows for diversity in the world. It is perfectly accepting of the fact that the world is not black and white, and it accepts different peoples. Now, you might be wondering, are there any disadvantages? Well, of course there are. Just because there are different moral views, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are all of equal value. Just think, for example, about Nazi Germany. Their moral code found it perfectly acceptable to murder millions of Jews, homosexuals, disabled people, and we, of course, it's one of the greatest horrors in history. We would not say that that was ethically sound. However, from a point of view of historical relativism, cultural relativism, we would have to accept that the Nazis were justified in what they did because it followed their own moral code. I am legally allowed to kill a Scottish person if they are in